Hey folks, so about 12 hours ago, I appeared in an interview with Chris from BizNews. Now, Chris has asked me to do this interview 3 weeks in a row, and my schedule's pretty tight, so I was a bit late for the interview, about an hour and a half late for the interview this morning. So my apologies to BizNews for that. Chris and I talked about that. That's entirely my fault. I'm taking on too many projects. So that's on me. That may have had impact on the editing of the video that went forward because it's poorly edited. So in the comments, there are several people complain that I talk too much. I don't think you understand the purpose of this. It's not a conversation. Chris presents a question, a brief question, and expects me as an analyst to give her a detailed explanation of what I'm responding to. Then she takes over again, asks a brief question, asks for a response. It's not a conversation. I don't know why people think it's a conversation. And number two, people accusing me of talking over her. I never talked over her. I don't talk over her. She doesn't talk over me. She asks the question. I wait till she's done. When it's clear she's finished, then I answer the question. When it's clear I've finished, and there's a pause, she asks her next question. This was poorly edited. I don't know what happened. So, for instance, we were supposed to talk about the boycott about FIFA. But because I was late to the interview, that came out later on, and she'd already stopped the recording. And I said, oh, but we didn't get to the question about the FIFA World Cup and a potential boycott. She said, oh, yeah, let's do that. So she did a second recording, which she asked the question, and I explained it. Now, somehow, this thing got messed up, and there's a voiceover twice in this video. I'm not talking over her, and how ignorant of people to make the assumption I'm talking over here and acting like I'm being rude. You're the one being rude and disrespectful. I never talked over anybody. And I'm doing exactly what was asked of me. If you don't like it, if you think it's a waste of your time, then why do you watch it? I was asked to provide analysis. It's not a one-word answer. So Chris Gulam was found dead in a hotel in Johannesburg. Do you believe that's true? Yes. What is that? What kind of analysis is that? And that's not what she asked me. She asked me, Gulam was found. What are your thoughts on that? What are my thoughts on that? Well, it takes more than 3 seconds to explain the background, the analysis, and how one comes to a conclusion and comes up with an answer. I don't understand why that's so complicated for people. This isn't the first time I've been on there. Take a breath. Quit talking over her. I'm not talking over her. You don't know what you're talking about. And unbelievable. Obviously, people who'd never watched the program before, or people who are just being trolls. I'm not sure which it is. But whatever the case is, I didn't talk over her. She didn't talk over me. And it's not a conversation. My interviews are conversations. Just like David Frost back in the 70s, who would take on top political figures and others and have a conversation with them, interjecting his knowledge and his understanding of something to pose new questions. Chris asks a question of me as an analyst and asks for my opinion, my view, my take, my analysis. And that's what I do. If you're accustomed to a world in which someone simply answers yes or no to every question, then how do you learn things? How do you discover new things? How do you take a position for or against something that someone's saying if all they say is yes or no, or answer in 3 sentences? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what the umbrage is about. I really don't. And also, to assume that I'm talking over after watching interview after interview after interview, Chris has interviewed me at least 30 or 40 times over the past year and a half. It sounds about right. And I've done 3 consecutive sessions on this program in honor of Neil deBeer, and also did a couple previous ones. So I don't understand what the confusion is or what the complaints are here. These are taped interviews. They're not live. Do people even notice that? You notice it doesn't say live when you're watching it. It's a recorded session. And then her team edits it. I'm not blaming her team. That's my fault that they probably didn't have sufficient time to edit it properly and get this thing out. But there's an editing error here. The only errors beyond that are people's understanding what's going on. Certainly nothing I did wrong. Certainly nothing Chris did wrong. And again, I don't even blame her editing team, but they did miss it. And as a consequence, people are attacking me. And they're completely uninformed about what they're attacking me about. So, take a deep breath before you post comments and understand what you're talking about. Anyway, there you go, folks. So just a little feedback on that. The link to that interview is below this video if you'd like to go check out that video. And be forewarned that at least twice during this conversation, the portion where she asked a question unrelated to what I'm talking about is played over top me. She didn't talk over me, and I wasn't talking over her, and I didn't keep her from getting a word in edgewise. That's just comical. It's her show. I'm doing what she asked me to do. And oh, by the way, I do this for free. But ain't compensation for this. To take this abuse from people who don't even know what's going on. It's really comical, to say the very least. Anyway, best of luck, everybody. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed the interview.